Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Another winning night in the books, baby. As we record this here on Monday, had a nice 3-1 record. We'll go through all that stuff, and I got another reason to celebrate. Like I said, not taking any of these wins for granted. So I want to give y'all another chance to get into the VIP with another discount, slightly bigger than yesterday. So we've had 3 winning nights in a row. Let's make it 55% off if you want to come in for the first 2 months in the VIP. 55% off with the code 3days, now that we've got 3 days in a row. And I'm not stopping there. So if we win on Tuesday and have any amount of success and win any kind of money on Tuesday night, we're going to up that to 60% off on the VIP for those of y'all that want to come in. And we're going to keep going. So if we get up to whatever 100% is, 9 nights in a row, I haven't done the math yet, we're going to go ahead and get 100% off in the VIP if we keep winning. So let's keep it going here. I've got some looks on the card already for Tuesday in a kind of messy slate. So we'll go through some of that stuff. If that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's get right into it. 3-1, little 1.5 units. Like I said, maybe it's not 3 or 4 or 100 units on a day, but I will take 1.5. And any night that you win money here, sports betting, let's take those W's and ride with them. 36.3 units up on the season. And like I told you a few nights ago, when I was going through my rough streak, I started looking at things through the lens of, did I deserve that win or loss? Or did I not deserve that win or loss based on the reads that I made and then the results, right? And some of the stuff that's out of my control. We'll get to the undeserved one in that loss there, as you see that little hook. But let's start at the top with Obi Toppin, 16.5 PRA. The look there was, as soon as Miles Turner was out, I went ahead and took some Obi stuff because I already liked the matchup for Obi. This Kings team has been horrible on defense. They've been the worst 3-point defense for the last 15 games or so, and they've gone all the way down. They were the best transition defense, but they've gone all the way down now, and they're second. They were overtaken by the Thunder, and they've been in the bottom half of the league in transition defense now for the last 10 games as well, as this defense has been faltering. So Obi Toppin was already a good look, became an even better look as soon as Miles Turner was ruled out. Continue to look at that stuff for Obi when Miles is out. TJ McConnell, another look that I liked a lot because it was a great matchup. He has throttled this team when he's played them in the past. In the earlier game this year, had something like 23 points and assists combined in that game on 10 assists in that one. And that was just in 23 minutes. So we went right back to it, kind of started off slow, and then he picked up the dimes in the second half. So he got the 8 points, 4 assists, just got us there, but that was the projection, was about 19-20 minutes for him, and that's what he played, and he stayed out there for a few more minutes, which is why I always preach, if you can't project how many minutes a guy is going to play, you shouldn't be betting on him. And I had a really good projection for TJ McConnell to play a few more minutes, and that's exactly how he got over. This was easily the cash of the day. Jaren Jackson Jr., over 4.5 boards. He ended with 15. Only disappointment here is that I didn't ladder it, but he had been so bad on the rebounds that it was sort of a regression to the mean, right? When you see a guy who's getting way below his averages normally for like an 8 to 10 game span, oftentimes you can chalk that up to outliers and things that are just sort of weird, right? He had some bad matchups. There were some blowouts, but in this game, he's had really great success rebounding against the Celtics because of the matchups and who he's guarding on the floor. Really important to know who the matchups are as well, because if you saw who Jaren Jackson is guarding for the most part when he's playing this Celtics squad, it's guys like Drew Holiday, maybe Neemias Queta, like guys that are off ball, playing in the corner or close to the baseline. So he's always in good position for rebounds against that squad. Love that win. Let's get to the L, and let's get to the one undeserved. And you guys can make up your mind for yourselves if I'm being cheap and giving myself a freebie here by saying this Fred VanVleet bet that I lost was undeserved. 17.5 PA on this one. He ends with 17 in this game because he had 8 points and 9 dimes. Couldn't get any more points than that, or like 7, whatever it was. He ended up with 17 PA. Really brutal hook there. 2 for 14 from the field. That's the brutal hook. Make a basket. Go 3 for 14. I shoot 12% from the field. My projection was he's going to play big minutes. He has a good matchup against the Lakers because he gets the easiest matchup. Usually like Austin Reeves or whomever the worst defender is out there is the guy that's going to be on Fred VanVleet, maybe Gabe Vincent. So he has the best matchup. He's killed the Lakers doing that, had the assists, didn't get the points. You take the wins with the losses, man. We've gotten lucky sometimes, and we got really, really unlucky here. So we'll just keep playing the numbers. Up 1.5 units, like I said. So make sure if you do want to jump in for the first 2 months, got a nice code here for you, 3 days to get 55% off. Let's go for 4 days in a row with wins and get right into what I have for Tuesday. As always, going to be using Props Madness here on the show. This is the #1 sports betting research tool for all things hoops. If you're interested in getting in on Props Madness, like I said, one-stop shop for everything that you need here. Definitely use code LYB. That'll get you 25% off your first month. You can also use that to get 7 free days. Trial it out for yourself and see if you like it. Like I always say on the show, we're teaching y'all how to fish, not just feeding you here for one night. So hopefully you learned something from using Props Madness. Let's kick it off with the Blazers and the Hawks. This is going to be the first game we've got some props up for. Still waiting on props on a bunch of games, but I'm happy to get into this one real quick. And to be clear, these are all leans. I don't bet overnight, right? If you bet early on in the night and too early before betting limits have been raised, you're often going to get yourself limited on how much you can bet on these books. If you're betting 10 to 15 to 20 bucks, less of a chance that you get limited, but you still are giving yourself a really good chance to get limited and get noticed by the sports books, who then don't really want to take sharp action. If they consider you sharp, which they will do if you bet too early, too often, and get the best number, then they're going to start limiting how much you can bet. Something to keep in mind for the future. The first thing that I'm looking at, though, here, and I'm hoping to bet on tomorrow, is going to be an under for Toumani Camara on the boards. We have this at 5.5. I think there's probably some other folks who are on this with me already because this has started to go downward. Minus 138 for the under here, because I think other people are betting the under and seeing a lot of what I'm seeing here. You can still get under 5.5 boards for minus 120 for Toumani. But the thing here that we're looking at for Toumani Camara is, who is he guarding? That's the key, because he has become one of the best perimeter defenders, and honestly, one of the best defenders in the league. A guy who can truly guard 1 through 5, which is a unicorn. You don't find those guys almost ever. 1 through 5, that's impossible. But he does it. He'll guard Darius Garland. He'll guard Trae Young. He'll guard Cat. He'll guard Jokic. He'll guard whomever you put in front of him that is your best scorer. That is who Toumani Camara guards. So he's going to be guarding Trae Young. Whenever you know a guy's going to be guarding somebody like Trae Young, James Harden, anybody, Tyrese Halliburton, anybody who plays out on the perimeter 35 feet from the basket, Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, another couple of options for point guards who shoot really deep threes and like to stay really spread out. So they stand really far from the basket to either create more space to drive to the hoop and kick, or to pull up from three. Either way, guys like Toumani Camara, when they guard Trae Young, they don't get as many rebounds. They don't get as many rebound chances because they're consistently out of position to get the rebounds, right? So if you look at him in this last game that he played against them, 4 boards, 9 rebound chances. Always want to make sure you're looking at the rebound chances to know, is a guy consistently getting enough chances to even get the rebounds, right? Is he in position? And 9 rebound chances, you generally project about 50 to 55% of rebound chances to turn into actual rebounds. Toumani's right at that number. On the season, he's at about a 51% success rate on his rebound chances, turning into rebounds. 51% means if he's got 9, that he's going to hit 4 at best, maybe 5. Still doesn't get you to 6, right? That's what you should be expecting with 9 rebound chances. And he's not going to get very many rebound chances when he's guarding Trae Young. I want to show you this through the lens of the game log real quick too, because we can explain any of the games here recently where he went under or over, pretty explainable. The Knicks, like I said, he went over there. He's guarding big men. He's guarding Cat. He's guarding anybody who comes in that's big. He's really not doing much guarding of guys like Josh Hart or anybody like that. So he was really close to the basket very consistently because he's guarding the center on the other team. 16 rebound chances in that game. Against the Kings, he was guarding mostly DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. 4 rebound chances, right? Because he's guarding guys who are on the perimeter and shooting the ball. And if you're guarding the guy who's shooting the ball, once again, you're too busy defending to really be worried about then going out and getting the rebound. Against the Cavs, guarded Darius Garland, 9 rebound chances. Against the Celtics, guarded everybody. There's no one person for him to guard, right? He's guarding a plethora of guys because Tatum, you could consider the primary ball handler, but there's 4 to 5 guys on the floor that can handle the ball and pass and shoot very well for the Celtics at all time. For the Nuggets, a little bit of an outlier. He guarded Jamal Murray in this game, but still 10 rebound chances, 6 boards, still a little bit of an outlier. Even if he gets 10 rebound chances, I expect him to get 5 boards. So you can see here when we look at these games when he guarded Ja Morant, okay, now he's looking at 8 rebound chances because once again, he's guarding Ja Morant. So there's really clear explanations for the games that he's going under versus over on the rebounds. And this is a tailor-made game for the under for Toumani. So we're going under on 5.5 boards for him. Hoping we have that in the morning when the limits are raised and I can get my bets down. One more look in this game, Onyeka Okongwu. I normally love to go under on him. And let me be very clear. If you want to take points or rebounds for Okongwu, I would be going under. If you want to take assists, though, I think we can go over on 2.5. We're getting plus 145 on Bet365. I don't expect that to be there on Tuesday morning when you guys are able to. Most of you are going to be end up watching this episode. Probably going to be 2.5, maybe plus 120. Maybe it's down to plus 110. I think anything in the plus money here for Okongwu on 2.5 dimes is going to be a good look. A couple things we're looking at here. When he's played this season without Jalen Johnson, without DeAndre Hunter, a couple guys who take some assists away from him on the season in these games, he's closer to 3 per game. 26 games that he's played without DeAndre Hunter and Jalen Johnson. Neither of them will be there. Hunter is on the Cavs, Johnson out for the season. 2.9 assists per game, over in 54% of them or so, 14 of 26 games that he's gotten at least 3 assists, right? But there's a couple things I want to show you. While you can use Props Madness to find things like how does the other team defend against this guy's position, right? For instance, you can go here to advanced filters, go to opponent D rank versus position, and see how good or bad somebody is at limiting his assists, points, rebounds, whatever, specifically to his position. So if I hover over the Portland Trailblazers game, you can see when I look at assists, this team is 28th limiting assists to the center position, 3rd worst. So they're giving up the 3rd most assists per game to the center position. Great matchup for a guy like Okongwu, who runs a ton of dribble handoff stuff up top. One of the other awesome parts about Props Madness, they have an assist chart right here. You can see he's getting 38% of his assists right here in the paint. And this not Hawks team, we are talking about the Blazers team, is 23rd, 8th most points, assists allowed inside the paint. So a lot of different numbers here are really showing us that for Okongwu, this is a really good look for him to go ahead and get dimes against a team that gives up a ton of dimes to the center position, and a team that he went over against in the earlier game this year. 3 dimes on 5 potentials. And for a center, if you give him 5 potential assists, I don't mind having to get 3 dimes off of that. It's a little bit of a high number in terms of the success rate for his potential assists turning into assists, but I'm not worried about it. In a very good matchup for huge plus money. That's the key here. Plus 130, plus 120. These are going to be great numbers to go over if we can still get that for Okongwu's assists here on Tuesday. As we get into this Bucks and Suns game for a minute, go ahead and give this video a like. Goes a really long way to help support the channel, so much appreciated. Also highly recommend subbing to the channel as well. Maybe throw those notifications on. We are going to be going live with a little bit more randomness with that live show that usually goes 5:30 p.m. Eastern on the weekdays. Not totally sure if we'll have one on Tuesday yet, but keep an eye out. Definitely have some stuff in the works for the live show. So let's get into the bet that I'm looking at here for the Suns and Bucks. And one of the reasons I can't bet on this game just yet, in addition to the fact that I'm not betting the night before, like I mentioned, is because I don't know if Brad Beal is playing. We know that for the Suns, we're not going to have KD. He's now out at least a week with a sprained ankle. And then everybody else other than Brad Beal, good to go. So we need to know if Beal is going to play or not. But I think Devin Booker is good for an under on the rebounds and the assists. And this is something that I've been targeting for Book when he's playing without one of KD or Beal. A lot of times the assists, the rebounds, they kind of drop, the points go up. So let's look at the games where he's played this season without Kevin Durant for starters. This is wild to me. 9.5 rebounds and assists in the 13 games that he's played without KD, compared to 11.1 on the season. Not sure why this is at 11.5. I guess the books are really projecting that Book's going to have the ball in his hands for the whole game. So they're really not willing to go under on the boards or the dimes. But I'm looking at his numbers when he plays without KD. Very bad for the rebounds and assists to an over. If you look at the games he's played without Brad Beal, same concept here. When he plays without just one of these guys, his stuff goes down a whole bunch. Let me add a bunch of games. He's played a bunch without Brad Beal. 10.6 RA per game without Brad Beal, under in 17 of the 26 games that he's played without him. There have been a few games that he's played without KD and Beal, not very many, but we've got 7 of them here, 10 RA per game. It doesn't make sense to me nearly as much. You look at the volume. That's the stuff you want to look at. Potential assists, rebound chances. That's what we call volume stats that really show you what were the opportunities that he even had to get assists or rebounds. So starting with the potentials, he's at about 13.7 here when he's playing without those 2 guys. That's actually 0.5 more than he averages on the season. 13.7 potential assists versus 13.2. That makes you scared to go, well, oh, shoot, he's actually doing a little bit better on the potential assists. But who's he passing to? It's not Brad Beal, and it's not Kevin Durant. So those potential assists turning into regular assists, they go down when you take talent away from off the floor around Booker, right? For him to get the dimes, dependent on guys around him scoring. For him to get the rebounds, he needs to get rebound chances. And although he's once again getting a few more rebound chances per game, it's not enough to get him there on the boards. When you have guys like KD out there, when you have better rebounders or better guys who are better at boxing out, then the defense is worried about those guys a little bit more, and that allows Devin Booker to go in and get his boards. But without KD out there, without a true center, no offense, Nick Richards, or some offense, I really don't care, they're not going to have to worry about boxing out everybody else. Devin Booker is not going to be as free to go in and get stuff, right? Plus, the best defender is going to consistently be on Booker, whether it's Taurean Prince, whether it's Gary Trent Jr., whomever is out there that's the best defender for perimeter play is going to be the guy guarding Booker. Nobody to take that relief off of him. So I really like him to try to score a lot more rather than be able to just get rebounds and assists at will. The points are going to be something that he does decently well, right? 28 per game when he's played without both these guys. Although he's only over in 3 of 7, the averages are a lot higher for him. And I just don't see him being able to get a lot of assists in a game where I think they're just going to let everybody else, they're going to let Devin Booker score and keep everybody else from doing their thing. And that's how they'll win this game, is one guy going off versus a team of guys going off. I think Giannis and company will handle business. The blowout is always a little bit of a factor, even though we shouldn't give the Bucks too much benefit of the doubt. I will say I prefer them in this game. And this Phoenix Suns team is just bleeding confidence and now injuries as well. So especially if Beal is not in, absolutely love the rebounds and assists under for Devin Booker here on Tuesday there. All right, like I said, give this video a like and sub to that channel so you don't miss any of the live shows. Hopefully we'll be back with them maybe tomorrow. Haven't made up my mind, but we will be back with at least 1 or 2 of them this week and then going full with those in the playoffs. If you do want to jump in, like I said, we're going to keep laddering this discount for you. 55% today. If we win again on Tuesday, 4 nights in a row, 60% off on the VIP. So hope to see you guys in there. And until I do, happy betting.